Hey everybody, this is still the second episode of the RevGEN Reply, but this is the second topic that we're going to talk about today, and it is resort fees. So obviously those are kind of a big deal right now, so we just kind of want to talk through it. And
got the guy who invented the resort
fee.
Yeah,
this guy right here invented the resort fee, Adam Dick. So let's start with, the first topic would be Booking.com. So there was obviously a big dust up a few months ago when they announced that they were going to do basically a resort fee or charging a commission on a resort fee. So they basically did a test run of that for, I don't know, how long did that last? 60 days at most.
Yeah.
And you know, from what we can tell, there was enough pushback from hotels everywhere that they essentially rescinded that. And an interesting part about that is, as soon as Booking.com announced that, it was kind of like all eyes were on Expedia. So what is Expedia going to do? Are they going to follow suit? And very interestingly, they decided not to. And now, you know, of course, Booking.com has taken away this commission on a resort fee. So just wanted to open it up to you guys. And, you know, what do you guys think about that? Is it, you know, there's a lot of intrigue there. What do you guys think about that?
Well, for one, maybe it shows the strength of hotels.
Yeah.
That maybe we didn't know we had.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So obviously, hotels scared Booking.com enough to pull it.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my initial thoughts. My other initial thought is curious why Expedia did not do it. Do you guys have any ideas why they wouldn't?
It seems almost to me like a competitive advantage for them not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
When Booking.com, who has like a much higher cancellation rate, is doing it, I think it makes sense for them to hold off.
Yeah, and I thought it was a smart move that they didn't just immediately follow suit, right? Because at first glance, it seems like, oh, it's going to be free money. But then if it really flops with Booking.com, I mean, I think they're, in a lot of ways, they're kind of in you know, damage control mode right now. So I think that's very, very interesting and a smart move on Expedia's part. But yeah.
Well, anytime a revenue manager sees a channel's cost go up, you start immediately thinking in the back of your mind, like, well, what other channels can I lean on, right?
Exactly,
so, yeah, Booking.com did it and Expedia didn't, or Booking.com did it and Expedia didn't. Obviously, you would definitely turn a lot more of the promotion or travel ad strategy or whatever this way.
Yeah, to the lower cost channel.
So that's kind of obvious. So I think that was a win for hotels.
Yeah, that was a big win for hotels. I was impressed that it wasn't just you know, that they didn't just roll over and, you know, accept it. I thought that was interesting. Another thing that ties into the resort fees, of course, is Marriott. So right now there's, I guess, some pending litigation going on right now about the resort fee itself. So I think that what's going on there is that the resort fee is essentially considered, I guess, maybe some kind of deceptive practice. So right now there's a lawsuit where Marriott is kind of under fire right now about how they've advertised their resort fee online. So when you go, or not now, but in the past, when you would go on to, you know, one of these big brand websites and book a hotel room, you wouldn't really know about the resort fee until the very end of the booking process, which is now, of course, changing with this pending litigation going on. So if you go online, and I can include an example of this or a screenshot of this, but if you go online now to the major brands, it is much more transparent now. So when you shop a resort at Marriott or Hilton.com, they're now very upfront about what the resort fee is going to be per night, which is great for the consumer. So do you guys have any thoughts? Maybe give me like the two perspectives. So what do you think about a resort fee as a consumer? And then what do you think about the resort fee as a revenue manager and a hotelier?
Well, as a consumer, if you're staying at a resort, I don't mind paying a resort fee, but I think we've gotten to the point where every hotel is charging a resort fee.
Yeah, even if they're not resorts.
So what's the benefit for those not in revenue management? Why would you charge a resort fee as opposed to just raising your rate?
Well, if everybody else is charging a resort fee, I think they see it as a way to, it's an additional revenue stream that goes straight to the bottom line until Booking.com decided to take commission out of the facility fee.
Yeah, because you don't have to pay commission on
exactly
resort fee, right?
Yeah. So as a consumer, I mean, personally as a consumer, I don't like the resort fee just because it's an additional cost, and especially now what we're talking about when these hotels that aren't really resorts, right? So Manhattan, again, I'll use New York as an example. So many of these hotels have resort fees, and you show up and really it's just pretty much a traditional hotel. They may have a rooftop, which is nice, but you kind of look around and you wonder, okay, why am I paying a $35 resort fee for a midtown Manhattan property?
Yeah, and I kind of went through this with a group of hotels I work with, and when we took over with them, they didn't have a resort or facility fee, and then in 2020 or 2019 they rolled one out, and essentially what we've seen is we had to price that facility fee or resort fee into the ADR. So it's a positive in that facility fee isn't there's no commission taken out, no margin taken out, so it's straight to the bottom line, but ADR is down. So gross operating profit looks the same, but it just looks different on the bottom line in terms of where it sorts out.
So for a revenue manager, it stings.
Yeah, but revenue looks down, but if you add the facility fees in there, we're looking pretty good.
But that, like, as revenue management moves forward and is more bottom line focused, I mean, it's kind of a good thing, right?
Yeah.
As long as you can tell the story to
it paints a picture.
Owners,
it's a different picture.
Why Star is down or whatever.
Yeah. So the Star data is skewed. It looks weird year over year because ADR is off 10-12% versus the fee is.
So that's interesting because I think a lot of hotels almost see the resort fee. Maybe you said this as like just a free revenue stream or additional revenue stream, but the consumer's not stupid, right? Through the booking process, especially now as it gets more transparent, which it should, they see the total amount.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just like Spirit Airlines, right? They're always the first in the sort because they're the cheapest. But everybody is educated at this point to know I'm going to ignore Spirit because I know at the end of the day they're just as expensive. They're just adding it on through the booking process. So I think initially a group might think, well, this is great, we don't need to change our rate at all and we'll pick up another $20 a day. Clearly that did not work that way, right?
Yeah, correct. We essentially lowered our rates, whatever the facility fee was in this case, $20.
So the one benefit is that you don't have to pay commission.
Right.
So you did a kind of a sneaky thing.
Yeah, so another angle that I want to bring up is, can we use resort fees or even the lack of a resort fee to actually drive those direct bookings? Because right now, that's all you hear about, right, is bottom line revenue management and how can we get more direct bookings. So pretty much every single brand has rolled out their members only rates and that sort of thing, even small independent like boutique brands. So one thing that I'm wondering is, can the resort fee be used to drive direct bookings? And what I mean by that is it feasible to not tack on a resort fee to these guests that are booking direct with you and use that as kind of another lever that you can use to drive direct bookings? So I do have one hotel right now that's what they're doing. So on their bar rate and then on their members only rate, they're opting not to charge that resort fee. So it just makes it look that much more attractive to just go ahead and book directly on the booking engine, which I think is interesting and another approach.
Until the OTAs slap your hand, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You would think, but at the same time, I think there's some kind of potential there, because, like Bill is saying, at some point I think obviously parity. In the past couple of years, parity has been such a big deal, but I think at this point now you kind of have to look holistically at the entire amount that you're paying, right? So you want to see, if I'm a consumer now and I'm searching on Meta, really I want to see the all-in rate. I want to see what I'm paying, in taxes. I want to see what I'm paying in the resort fee and room rate. So it's not really, especially with these higher end hotels, it's not, room rate necessarily is not king.
So one of my last questions is, what's an appropriate resort fee? Because I don't know.
Well, it's super, super arbitrary. I'm curious to know who the first hotel was that really rolled them out, because they seem super arbitrary, right? So I've seen as low as what was like the lowest resort fee you've seen, like low 20s, $20 maybe.
Yeah, in New York City, ours is 18.
Yeah, and then some real resorts, like resorts, I've seen them high as like $95 per night. So it seems like there's no real logic behind it right now. I think it's going to take some time before people really figure out the value add. I think what's really going to happen is they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they really see that resistance from the guest. But it's arbitrary.
I guess
think it's
the
arbitrary.
only question is, like, what's more elastic, the rate, the rack rate, or the resort fee, or if it's completely linear? Because if it's completely linear, it doesn't really matter, right? If you're
So that's one of the things Expedia just changed. Since they're not taking margin out of the resort fee or the facility fee, they're lumping that facility fee in with your total price.
Mm-hmm.
So on the sort algorithm, whatever you want to call it, if you have a facility fee, that's going to be lumped in with your rate as well. So I think that's kind of the downfall in terms of...
So mostly linear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, this has been a little chat about resort fees. So just let us know if you agree, disagree, if you have any hot takes on this. We obviously want to hear them. So feel free to like or comment or subscribe.
Yeah, you gotta go to lunch.